Need a red velvet pencil skirt in your life? Let me show you how to do it quick and easy. Hi, I'm Catherine. Welcome to the Creative Nest. For those of you who are new here, I hope you like what you see and you subscribe for more. On my channel, I make stylish pieces, simple and easy. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to make this red velvet pencil skirt that I am wearing. If that is something that you are interested in, keep on watching. So grab your tools and your energy and let's get started. You will need your fabric, of course, and I have this gorgeous red velvet. I'm not sure if it's a red or burgundy. I tape measure so that I can input my measurements. I have my chalk so that I can draw out the lines so that you can see them. I have my ruler to connect the lines. I have my pins. And lastly, I have my scissors to cut out my pattern. I'm going to use my pins to make sure my fabric stays together, making this pencil skirt out of a stretchy fabric. So the first thing that I'm going to do, as always, is create a starting line. I'm going to use a waistband of 1.5 inches, so all of my measurements will start from that 1.5 inches. So I'm going to place that 1.5 inches right here. And the first measurement I'm going to take is my waist to my hip, and that is 9 inches. Then I'm going to measure my full length, and my full length is going to be 30 inches. And then I'm going to rule a straight line. I'm going to use 1 inch for my hem allowance. And then I'm going to cut this excess off because I don't need it. So now I'm going to put in all of my horizontal measurements. So the first measurement I'm going to take will be my waist. And my waist is 33 inches. 33 divided by 4 gives me 8.25. So I'm going to put my 8.25 on my waist. I'm going to add a 1/2 inch for seam allowance because this fabric is a little stretchy. I'm going to come on my hip line. So this is my waist, this is my hip, and then obviously the rest is my full length. My hip is 42 inches. 42 inches divided by 4 is 10.5. So I'm going to put that 10.5, and I'm going to add a 1/2 inch for seam allowance. What I have here on my hip, I have 11 inches. I'm going to minus 2 inches from that, and that is going to give me 9 inches. And I'm going to put that on my full length and hem line. So that's 9 inches. And I'm going to add my 1/2 inch for seam allowance. Okay, so now I'm going to connect those lines. So from my hip to my full length, I'm going to connect that with a straight ruler. Let me get my long ruler. Okay, and for my waist to my hip, I'm going to use my curved ruler. Just a slight curve because I'm not that curvaceous. I would like to be, but I'm not. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. I feel like I shape like a plank right now. Or do I say plywood? Now, you don't say that now. I could say that, but you don't say that. At the waist, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to connect that into the waist. This chalk is very chalky. Does that make sense? And I'm going to connect that. Now, for the front, I'm going to come down by 1 inch because the front waist is lower than the back. I'm now going to cut out the back, so I'm going to cut out. I'm going to follow this line all the way down. Okay, so this is what you should have at the moment. So now I'm going to separate because I cut both my front and back out the same time. So I'm going to separate them. I'm going to take out the, oh, that's the fabric. Isn't she beautiful? So I'm going to fix this so that I can cut out the front. Okay, so now that we have our front and back, I'm going to cut out my waistband. My waistband is 33. I'm going to minus inch for that just so that my waistband could be a little bit more fitted. 32, so that's 16 and a half. Because remember, this is on the fold. 16 and a half. And I'm going to do 4 inches. And I'm not going to use any elastic. I'm just going to use the fabric itself. Now that we have all of our pieces, everything is cut on the fold. This is your front because the front has a scoop. That is your back, and this is your band. I'm going to place front and back together, right sides kissing. And I'm going to pin them at the side seams. Okay, so now that both of my side seams are pinned, I'm going to now take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch. And I'm going to stitch my waistband. I'm going to try my skirt on and see how it fits to see if I need to make any adjustments. And then once I would have done that, I'm going to turn it over a ½ inch and then turn it over a ½ inch again. And then I'm going to stitch very close to the edge. Because we're using a stretchy fabric, you're going to use a zigzag stitch, back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Okay, so I'm going to try my skirt on and then hem my skirt. Then I will show you the final product, which is my skirt. Okay, so this is the skirt that I just finished sewing, and I had such a good time sewing it. I really enjoyed sewing it. It came together super easy. I sewed the skirt between drafting the skirt and sewing it about 30 minutes of my time, and that's a pretty good chunk of my time doing something that I love and something that gives me peace and something that brings joy. So the tutorial I told you that I added ½ inch seam allowance. For my skirt I didn't need to add any allowance. So it all depends on how much stretch is in your fabric. That will dictate how much seam allowance you need to add. Initially when I stretched the material, it seemed like it didn't have much, but when I sewed it and put it together, it had a little bit of extra fabric that I needed to get in, so I had to take it in 1 inch. Other than the ½ inch I had already taken in. This is the front of the skirt and this is the back of the skirt. If you like what you see on my channel, remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Come be a part of this family. Share my video with family and friends and all those persons who love sewing or who just want to be inspired. I will see you on the next video. Be blessed. Bye.